Welcome back to the Gen X Experience. Today, on a very special episode, I feel like on a very special blossom. This is episode 52, and this episode is being released on my 52nd birthday. So, yes, August 4th, when you're hearing this, I'm 52. How did I get here? Like, I know how I got here. I know how I got here in the first place. I know how I got here now. I just am like, it feels like one day I was turning 30, having a midlife crisis. I guess more of a quarter life crisis when I was turning 30. And now I'm like, I'm 52. Okay. Okay. Sure. Sure. That's what we're doing. So, I mean, and I'm not unhappy to be 52. I mean, aging is a privilege. As cliche as that sounds, it's the truth. With aging comes wisdom. With aging comes being annoyed by the fact that you know things and you know you don't know things. And you're like, as I've said ad nauseum, adulting. Seriously, if I could go back in time, there's a couple things that I would do. One, I would go hug my parents. I miss them terribly. Two, I would beat the crap out of myself and be like, listen, little one who thinks she knows everything. At least when I was like a preteen and teenager, you need to enjoy your childhood and teen years because adulting it's not what you think it's going to be. Yes, and having a bedtime, it's not that great. You have to pay bills. You have to get your own toothpaste and toilet paper and groceries and decide what you're going to make for dinner and what you're going to eat for breakfast. And you're just responsible for everything. So when your parents tell you it's not all it's cracked up to be, stop thinking that you know more than they do because you don't. And you're going to find that out later. I wouldn't listen to myself probably, but anyway. So anyways, on this special solo episode, we're gonna go walk down memory lane because I was like, you know what, I still have my CDs. Yes, I'm not getting rid of them. That's lots of money. Some things that probably you can't get anymore. Also, I spent a lot of money with BMG and Columbia House. I'm sure I probably owe them money, like all of us Gen Xers. They don't need to know that. They don't exist anymore. And I have Napster CDs. I have things my friends made me and sent me, things that I created, stuff I'm like, I don't know who this person is. Like, yeah, I had very interesting eclectic music taste. So we're going to go talk about that. But before we do, let's get into what August is going to look like because I know you care. So I'm breaking my rule of not continuing a subject into the next month because I had a previous guest from I believe it was our first season, could be our second season, I don't remember, say that he wanted to come on and talk about making friends in midlife from the male perspective. I was like, yes, because, I did a solo episode talking my experience. I had guests on a group of women that I met through Real Roots, and I really want to make sure that this podcast is for everyone as much as I can. This is a Gen X experience, not the Gen X woman experience. I mean, things will probably skew more female because that's what I am. But I'm very excited because I do think that trying to make friends in midlife, while we all have commonalities, I do think there are different challenges for men. So I'm excited to hear what Alex has to say. So stay tuned. That will be coming later this month. And then also we're bringing our book club back. I'll talk about the 2 picks I have for this, I guess we'll call it summer. And I'll put polls up on Instagram, TikTok, right? Threads. And maybe I'll put something down here if you want to just fill that out. So yeah, anyway, come join the community on TikTok and Threads or Instagram. My goal is actually, TikTok is like a bigger community. I want to get it up to 1,000 followers. I'm at like 870 something. So I think by the end of the year, that's my goal. I sound like a freaking influencer, but we're going to do that. So come join the conversation on social media. It's the Gen X Experience Pod across the board. And and leave a comment, engage, whatever. DM me if there's something you'd like me to talk about, cover. If you're not nice, I'm not going to be nice to you because we're 52. Don't care. Right? That's what we're supposed to say. All right. Okay. And then, did I forget something? Anyway, I'll talk about the books at the end. Oh my God, my brain. And I just came back from my birthday dinner, did a little early celebration at this really cute little Italian restaurant called Amore Mare in Atlanta. Its food was amazing. The service, not so much. And the playlist, it was all 80s. It was fun. Wham, Prince, Madonna, Paula Abdul. It was just Whitney Houston. It was perfect. It was perfect. So, anyways, let's get into CDs. Now, I don't know if you still have yours, but it's kind of fun to go back and look at them and listen. That's the one thing when I was going through my CDs, I'm like, I don't know who this person is. I don't remember. I know there's a song on here that I probably really liked, or this artist I really liked. I want to go back and start listening to them. I have a little CD player in my office. Also, for my birthday, I asked for a record player because I want to get back into vinyl. I have my parents' vinyl collection. Weirdly, the stuff that we had as kids is like missing. It feels like it's very weird. I'm not saying my parents did anything. I think something happened when our house got destroyed by a hurricane, and in the early 2000s, and I think someone stole, like, we had soundtracks, we had Karate Kid and Flashdance and Top Gun and Footloose, and I had a Max Headroom record. Yes, I did, because I won it in a contest. I think I had another one that I won in a contest. There's like some Fleetwood Mac stuff missing. I think my dad's double not Pet Shop Boys, Beach Boys records are missing. There's just some things missing that I know. I do have my Prince Purple Rain, so. But I want to start collecting vinyl and get back into it and get records that have been re-released and discover some new things, because I don't know. There's just something about vinyl that will not compare to digital or CDs. And let's face it, like, as Gen Xers, we have been through so many varieties of music. We've had tapes, we've had records, we've had CDs. There were 8 tracks, digital music. I love that records have made a comeback, because they're just something special. So let's open up the collection, the Blythe Alpern historical collection that dates back to the 90s. I think there are some CDs from the 80s too, or maybe the early 90s. Because I remember going to Peaches. There's actually a record store. That's what I'm going to do on my birthday, is go to a record store and pick out something, treat myself. And I saw that they have a Peaches crates, and I'm like, oh my God, I remember those. But I remember going to Peaches in Sarasota, Florida, and I got Achtung Baby, right? Achtung Baby from U2. I think I got a REM CD. Like, I was so excited because I just always love music. I remember my dad bought me Seven and the Ragged Tiger from Duran when I was a kid. I don't know if it was a present or something, or my birthday, but he left it on my bed, and I was so excited because I love Duran. My sister and I used to listen to Rick Springfield's Working Class Dog. We played it so much the thing stopped working. I had the Grease 2 soundtrack. We had the Go-Go's. I love music. And eventually, my parents redid the house, and when we got into my sister and I got in like a bigger room, they gave us their old stereo system. It was an 8-track, but we got to listen to the radio. And, what kid didn't want a boombox or a Walkman or a CD Discman? Or when you went to college, like, the gift you wanted was like a good stereo system, because that was essential. Not the TV. I saw someone saying, how do I hang my son's 65-inch screen TV in the dorm room? Are you serious? What are you doing? That's a whole other rabbit hole to go down, but I'm just saying, like, some of the things parents are saying, and I know that they're Gen Xers and millennials, y'all are delusional and cray. We lived fine without cleaning services and maid services and laundry services, and our TVs were tiny, and somehow we survived college fine. We didn't have the RA wake us up. We didn't have decorators. Like, we lived in our cement boxes just fine. Anyway, so let's start. Let's go down the memory lane. So I had the towers at one point for the CDs, and I would organize my CDs. I had a row of like soundtracks, best of, because I got into a thing where I was collecting like the best of, So let's talk. In this first one, we have Saturday Night Fever, which I think is one of the best or all-time selling, not just soundtracks, but I think records of all time. I mean, the Bee Gees. If you don't like the Bee Gees, I don't know what's wrong with you. You might need therapy. I have the Reality Bites soundtrack. I mean, such good things on there. The Knack, My Sharona. We had Lenny Kravitz, Spinning Around You. Ethan Hawke is on there. I mean, Squeeze. I have Harry Connick Jr. This is a soundtrack from When Harry Met Sally, because That's one of my all-time favorite movies. Um, it's just so good. And the music was great too. I have Muriel's Wedding. I saw that in the theater. I love that movie. If you haven't seen it, it's with oh my god, her name just went out of my head. I can't think of it. Anyway, it's a really good movie. Tony Collette. It's with Tony Collette, and there's ABBA in there. It's a great movie. Australian. I had my best friend's wedding. I mean, that soundtrack was great. Fun movie. It's the truth about cats and dogs. I saw that in college. I remember, I think won something or got to go see a preview. Really liked that movie, and the soundtrack is really good. Susan Vega's on it. Sting is on there. Cowboy Junkies, Squeeze, Al Green, Ben Folds 5, The Brand New Heavies, Jill Sobel, Blues Traveler. Like, that's the one thing, too, that I kind of miss. And I love that, like, off campus, I feel like the show on Amazon Prime is bringing that back. It's like soundtracks were such a big deal. I mean, Saturday Night Fever, Reality Bites, Singles, Harry Met Sally, My Best Friend's Wedding, like Top Gun, Footloose, Flashdance, Fame. Like, soundtracks were a part of our lives, and there's just something about, like, they bring them the movie back to you, the scenes from the movie, and like sometimes the soundtracks are better or bigger than the movie, like Xanadu. That movie's very interesting. I mean, I love it, but like really it's the music. I have the soundtrack to Titanic. I don't really know why, because can I be honest, I think I've watched the movie once and I was like, yeah, I'm good. I don't need to watch a tragedy over and over again. Forrest Gump, which was a double disc. I mean, obviously it spans multiple decades, a generation. I mean, there's um, Elvis Presley, CCR, Buffalo Springfield, Mamas and the Papas, Jefferson Airplane, Willie Nelson, Bob Seger. I mean, it's just such great. I have Swingers. I mean, come on, Swingers, quintessential like 90s movie. I love that Swingers kind of brought back that swing dancing. And I think that like eventually led to the whole like cocktail of like the 60s era, was very, I don't want to say Hawaiian, but if you like, it had a very big feel, like that brought back some like swing music in that time. Better Off Dead, that movie, I love that movie, and I bought the soundtrack. $2. I want my $2. And I mean, there's so many good, quotes like, sorry about your mom, Ricky. Sorry, your mom blew up, or the French thing, French fries, French bread, and to drink Peru. Of course, I have the Grease soundtrack. I don't have the Grease 2 soundtrack. I do need to get that. I've seen debates online. People are like, Grease 2 is better than Grease. And I'm like, no, 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 no. They are both good. Grease 1, I mean, the original Grease, there wouldn't be a Grease 2 without the first Grease. And they're very different and iconic for a variety of reasons. And I mean, of course, like the songs in Grease 2 reproduction, we're going to score tonight. I also have the soundtrack for Empire Records. That's a great movie, and the soundtrack is iconic. Twin Peaks, that show. The show is weird. The show is very, very, very weird, but the soundtrack is pretty good. Stealing Beauty. If you have not seen Stealing Beauty, it's with Liv Tyler. It's a really good, like, kind of coming of age movie, and there's really great music on it. Mazzy Star, Nina Simone, Liz Phair, Stevie Wonder. Billie Holiday, Portishead, Cocteau Twins. I love the movie, and the soundtrack is really great. We've got That Thing You Do, Sleepless in Seattle, City of Angels, the Goo Goo Dolls, Iris, Sarah McLachlan has Angel on there, Alanis Morissette, Paula Cole, of course, Oh Brother, We're Out There, Oh Brother, Where Art Thou. Another iteration of, I think, the Odyssey or the Iliad or both. So I might go see the Odyssey on my birthday. I don't really want to sit in the theater for 3 hours, but, and what if I have to pee? I have Never Been Kissed. Great movie. Drew Barrymore. Good music. Hope Floats. Saying Broke Down Mountain. Or no, it's not Broke Down Mountain. Broke Down Palace. I like the music better than the movie. I think I've only watched that movie once. It's just so intense. But yeah, Nilly Furtado, Delirium, Solar Twins. There was great music, but that movie, I mean, it's just sad. And just, I mean, a good movie about friendship, but like, I don't know. Romeo and Juliet, can I just tell you, I know the soundtrack is really good. I don't know if I actually have seen the entire movie. I'm not a Leo fan. Like, I think he's a good actor. Back in the day when everyone was fawning over him, I was like, I don't get it. I don't think he's cute. I still don't think he's attractive. Also, his taste in women, dude, get some therapy. Of course, now we get into Sliding Doors. Not a Gwyneth Paltrow fan, but I love that movie, and it's a great soundtrack. If you haven't seen Sliding Doors, I highly recommend it. It's basically a day in her life, and if she gets on the train, her life goes this way, and she gets off the train or misses the train, it goes this way. It's like two different stories come together, and it's really good, and it ends the way you want it to. Of course, I have Prince. There's a lot of Prince. I have his hits. Um, I mean, R.I.P. Totally miss him. But yeah, it has Controversy and Delirious and Little Red Corvette and Purple Rain and Doves Cry. We have Madonna, the Immaculate Collection, which is her greatest hits, Lucky Star, Borderline, like a version of Material Girl, New Editions, greatest hits. I have Pet Shop Boys, the discography, like the complete singles. I have this CD called The Limited, right? Remember when stores would put out playlists? I worked at The Limited in college, and I swear, like some of the music was great, and I would be singing along to some. Like, if I hear this song one more time. But yes, I have a CD for them. Limited presents Great American Grooves Motown. So My Girl, Lift the Temptations, Don't Mess with Bill by the Marvelettes. I heard it through the grapevine, Just My Imagination. So just, yeah, great like American Motown hits. But I have several other from like, I think I have like a Pepsi CD, but it was kind of cool when brands would put music out. I don't really think they do that anymore. I don't really know why. I mean, you can still do it on Spotify or whatever. What else? We have Carly Simon, Greatest Hits. I was sad to see that she was recently diagnosed with Parkinson's. She has a beautiful voice, great storytelling. Really love her. I really love the like remake. Her and Alanis Morissette recently did. I think it was this year or last year of oh god, Coming Around Again from Heartburn. If you haven't seen that movie, it's iconic. So good. Billy Idol's Greatest Hits. Erasure, the Greatest Hits. Yeah, Pop, the first 20 hits. And then I have Pure Moods. Yes, we have Pure Moods because we all went through a time where Gregorian chants and just Tubular Bells. This has, yes, Tubular Bells from Mike Oldfield, Sadness by Enigma, Sweet Lullaby by Deep Forest, Orinoco Flow by Inya, Return to Innocence by Enigma. I mean, come on. So, I have to laugh at this, but like, Pure Moods was great. Did I buy that off of like TV? Remember the late night, the late night commercials that you see advertising the music, and you're like, "What is this?" And every once in a while, we're like, I kind of like that. What else? I have Bob Marley and the Wailers, his greatest hits, Tribe Called Quest, their anthology, The Monkees. I don't know about you, but I had a crush on Davy Jones, and whenever his eyes would twinkle on the show, I was like, "Oh, he's so cute, so adorable, great music." I think I have Babyface's greatest hits, The Eurythmics, greatest hits, The Best of Blondie, Jimmy Buffett songs, by heart. I mean, you can't. I grew up in Florida. You can't not like Jimmy Buffett. I'm not in like official parrot head, but I love a good Jimmy Buffett. Makes me want to like sit out with a cocktail and just chill. And yes, my Air Supply CD is missing. We're gonna have to replace that. They're performing here in Atlanta, unfortunately. When they're here, it's the high holidays, and I have to go to synagogue and be a good Jew. So I won't get to see Air Supply. I did get to see them probably, early 2000s, mid 2000s. I was in Florida, and I went with two of my college friends. It was at like a racetrack. And it was awesome. We had the best time, but it was funny. Some people were freaking the F out. I think they were boomers. Not that that matters. They were just older than us. And it was kind of weird. I was like, I like Air Supply, but like this is a little much. Of course, I have ABBA Gold. Love them. I found out that my brother-in-law did not like the ABBA musical Mamma Mia, and he doesn't really like ABBA. I'm like, I don't know. I thought I liked you, but How can you not like ABBA, sir? How? It's fine. I have Beatles one when that CD came out with all of their greatest hits. I have The Police, Every Breath You Take, the singles, because yes, Every Breath You Take, the stalkers. How did we not know that growing up? That's the funny thing too, when you like listen to music as you get older, or you see people online talking about stuff, and I'm like, some of the stuff I'm like, yeah, I knew that, and other stuff I'm like, oh my God, we were just out there singing these songs that were about inappropriate relationships or affairs or cheating or what I was going to do to you, blah, blah, blah. And we're like, we're just singing it to 10, 12, whatever. Totally fine. No idea. No idea what we're singing. I'm sure our parents knew and just pretended not to say anything, because sometimes that's the best thing as a parent. You just don't bring it up. You just don't bring it up. It's a conversation you don't want to have. When we would ask my mom things, she'd be like, you'll find out when you're older. As in, I don't want to have this conversation right now. We have the best of Ella Fitzgerald, Duran decade, Cyndi Lauper, Patsy Cline, Sinatra. So you can see I have very eclectic music taste. I like old school. I love I'm not a country music fan, but Patsy Cline, iconic. Um, yeah, I like 70s, 80s, 50s, 60s, 90s. Of course, I have the best of Duran. And then best greatest hits of Chicago. I have Buddy Holly, the greatest hits. I know there was a reprisal a few years ago. I think they have it in digital form where artists did Buddy Holly hits, and I just love Buddy Holly. I saw the movie, and my dad loved. I thought he had the record. I don't know if we still have it, but he loved Buddy Holly, and so I'm very fond of it. I have Fleetwood Mac's greatest hits, and then back to some soundtracks. Down with Love, which is just a fun movie with Renee Zellweger. We've got the Bee Gees' greatest hits. We've got Boy George and Culture Club, the best of Duke Ellington. So you can see, as like most Gen Xers, my music taste is eclectic. I've got some Adam Sandler CDs, because you got to have a CD that has like Lunch Lady on there and several iterations of the Hanukkah song. And then we've got some Oasis. What's the Story? Morning Glory. I mean, Wonderwall. Used to make out to that CD with my college boyfriend who I met. I saw something recently. Someone's like, tell me you didn't, make out with someone on in the club, and then the lights will come on. I'm like, yeah, I met a guy New Year's Eve in college. Did the make out thing. Totally embarrassed, because I was like, and I ripped my skirt too. But I dated him for a few months, and we would make out to Oasis and Chris Isaac. So there's some story. There's some stuff about me you probably didn't want to know, but we all did this. We all had CDs. You had music. We all had make out music, right? That you would put on. Please, you did. Don't deny that you did. And if you want to share, let me know. Like, what were the CDs or music that you listened to when you were making out with your, boyfriend, girlfriend, one night stand, hookup, whatever. We all had the get you in the mood music. What else? 10,000 Maniacs, Toad the Wet Sprocket. I have 2 Toad the Wet Sprocket CDs. I really like. I feel like I want to listen to these again. What else? Of course, yeah. Like I said, 10,000 Maniacs. Our Time in Eden. I feel like I just saw that it's been a certain anniversary, 30, 40 years. We've got Beck. Love Beck. Weird, odd, interesting. Then I've got Jim Brickman. Now, Jim Brickman played piano. I went through this phase. It wasn't just Gregorian chants at Inya and Enigma, but I also really love, and I still do, like piano music, just stuff that's like chill when you're working or you just want to like relax or take a bath. I got into, and Jim Brickman's really good, and I got into that. I haven't listened to it in so long. Of course, I have Tracy Chapman, because hello. I have 2 of her CDs. I've got Etta James. I got into Etta James from working at the Limited, because I think they would play a couple of her songs. I'm like, I really love her voice, and I really love her. And so I got a couple CDs. We have Portishead, Live at the Roseland, Portishead Dummy. What else do we have? The Wallflowers. I have 2 of the Breach and Bringing Down the Horse. And I think, is Bringing Down the Horse the one that has, oh my God, Jacob Dylan? I had such a thing for him. I thought he was so hot. I was like, how is your father Bob Dylan? Because, sir, yes, One Headlight. The amount of times I would blast that song in college, just in my car. And still, if I hear One Headlight and I'm driving, it is just such a good driving song. That's another thing, right? We all had like the driving CDs that you'd listen to if you're going on a road trip. You put a whole playlist together. You'd get that tape that you could connect your Discman to. And yeah, and you'd have the little travel CD case so that you could pack the CDs. I've got Fiona Apple. I mean, she's so good. I love Fiona Apple. I have like When the Pawn Hits the I can't even read. I can't even read this stuff. But yeah, I really love Fiona Apple. I just think her music was so. I don't want to say it was Alanis Morissette, but I feel like it was the same genre. Like it was, her music was like very expressive, and like you just felt the pain and the emotions she was going through. And as a 20 something, I was like, yes, my angst. I feel this. I relate to this so much. It was so good. I have Maxwell, a couple Maxwell, because I love his voice. And Hi, Hot. Is he still around? Did I feel like he might have passed away or something? But yeah, his voice is sexy, and I think he was the one that had that video where he's shirtless and like sweat is dripping, and it's just like the V and it. Yeah, Daniel Bedingfield. You gotta get through this. Love that. Run DMC, Raising Hell. Paul Oakenfeld. This CD. Who is this? Here's where I talk about things I don't know who these people are. So I have a CD. I can't tell if it's Les Nubians. There's a female group that I really, really liked. And is this them? I don't know. Some of this is in French. I know the Black Eyed Peas are on this. Is this Les Nubians? I'm like looking for, I don't know. I'm looking at the liner notes, and I'm like, I don't know who these people are because I cannot find anywhere that it says. And like even on the CD, I'm like, who are these people? It doesn't even say. I don't know who this is. Oh my god, that's terrible. Well, we're gonna have to do some investigation. I think it's Les Nubians. I could be wrong, but do you have CDs in your collection where like I don't know who this person is? Poe, Roy Scott, David Gray. I love Poe. Another Craig David, Fat Jim, Ben Harper, Massive Attack. Yeah, so you can see that's just one collection. I wish I could play some of these songs. You're not allowed to, but maybe, like I said, maybe what I'll do, because we're always getting to 30 minutes. Maybe what I'll do is yeah, go through these and I'll write down the songs I like and I'll put a collection together and I'll call it, like, I don't know, Blythe's 52nd birthday reminiscent. Yeah, yeah, 52. Wow. So I don't know if that was any entertaining at all. It might have been like, wow, thank you for reading your CDs. That was really fun. But I kind of just wanted to go through it. Maybe every once in a while we'll do this. And just, it's just amazing how much music impacts our lives and brings back memories, and then how much stuff you're like, I don't remember this. But just the variety that we listen to, I think that's the one thing that I feel bad for the younger generations. Like we were just exposed, even though it seemed like we had less access, but we actually had more. I've talked about this before. We had the radio, and we had record stores, and we had our friends, and we had our parents. And so a lot of like music was always playing, at least in my house, in my room. And you're never in the car. If the car didn't have the radio on, it was because something was happening. You might be in trouble. So, but even now, like my car radio is all the time, is on all the time. I mean, sometimes I'm listening to NPR, but just music is so important. And I kind of like looking back at these and going, wow, I love EDM, I love pop, I love jazz, I love, you know, what else? Alternative, a little bit of old school country. I like 70s. I like 60s. I like crooner music. It's just, it makes me remember and appreciate how important music was to me. And I kind of feel like I'm not in the same place with music. Like I will hear things and, I have a playlist going and everything, but I kind of miss listening to a whole entire CD or record or whatever, or you would buy like, and I do have CDs that are just one song. You would buy like, the cassette was just the one song that you liked. And sometimes that would get you to, they'd include another song, and sometimes that would get you to listen to the artist more, or you would just be like, I really want this song. And then of course the radio would play it so many times they ruin it. But I don't know, in the last year or so, I've just been longing for getting back into my music and into my collection and into the connection. And just when I listen to certain songs, it just takes me back to whether it was time at the club, my first job, college, being in my bedroom, growing up, and turning on the radio, and especially when there was that song that you'd hear when they first released it, and you just fell in love, and you're like, I can't wait for they to play it again. And you listen to the radio, and you'd record it, and you just would like wanting the DJ to shut up, or the top 40 countdown, or MTV. Like, I miss that time. And so I'm hoping with my record player and my CD player and busting out some of my CDs. Literally, this is just one book. I have 2 others and a bunch of CDs that I will get back into it. And I hope, even though this may not have been that interesting, but I hope it inspired you to like get back on your music, or if there's any CD that I listen to or like that I mentioned that you're like, oh my God, I love that. Or it'll help you, encourage you to break it out too. And I'd love to know, did you collect soundtracks and best of, and do you still have your CDs? Are you into records? What does music mean to you? That's a lot of questions, but be sure to leave, comment, like, rate the podcast, reach out to me on email, or comment on our, what is the word that I'm looking for that has left my brain? Comment on any of my posts, and thank you for listening. And we will talk about the books that I'm going to. Oh my God, I almost shut this window that I'm recording. Let's not do that, Alpern. So let's talk about. Okay, so the first book is called Generation X, Tales for an Accelerated Culture. It is by Douglas Copeland, and Andy, Dag, and Claire have been handed a society priced beyond their means. 20-somethings brought up with divorce, Watergate, and 3 Mile Island. Funny enough, when I was being born, or about to be born, Watergate was happening. And my mother saved all the newspaper clippings, so she'd be like, here's what's happening before you were born. 3 Mile Island, and scarred by the 80s fallout of yuppies, recession, crack, and Ronald Reagan. They represent the new generation, Generation X. This was published in 1991. So if I'm not mistaken, this is how we became Generation X. I feel like this should be required reading for some younger generations who are starting to blame us for Ronald Reagan that we did not vote for because we were not old enough. Also, maybe they get a glimpse. They think that they're the only generation in the world that terrible things happen to. It happens to every generation. Not that I don't have empathy for younger generations. Of course I do. Being young is not easy, but like, get over yourselves. Gen X snark. And then there's the other book called Generation X. Here we go. Generation X, spelled with a J. And it's one reluctant adult's attempt to unarrest her arrested development. Also a good band. Or why it's never too late for her dumbass to learn why Fruit Loops are not for dinner. So this is more of a comedy. Now, here's the thing too. I think both of these books sound very interesting. I would like to read both of them. So we will put up a poll. You can pick one. If you like both of them, we can also read one now and one later. So let me know. And I'm thinking for our next book club, we might do like band books or something from our childhood. So anyway, I will shut up and go enjoy the rest of my evening. And my birthday. So if you're listening to this, I'm enjoying my birthday. Wish me happy birthday, because today is all about me. No, I'm a Leo who doesn't want attention, but I will be treating myself to a record, and I'm going to try out this new little like market cafe in my neighborhood. And I know I get a free Starbucks, but there's part of me that wants to try this coffee house that's like right by a record place. I don't know. We'll see. And I may take myself to see the Odyssey if I can muster the energy to sit in a theater for that long and not have to pee. Didn't they back in the day when movies were really long? Well, no, they had to take a break because they had to switch the reels, but they don't have to do that now. Anyway, thank you for tuning in to the Gen X Experience. Thank you for spending a little birthday time with me. I hope you found this entertaining. And if you didn't, well, that's your problem. I'm just kidding. I can't even do snark really well or be rude because it's just not in my nature. But at this point in my life, I don't care. I don't. Just, you don't like it. Tough titties. So, anyway, it's past my bedtime. It's not, but I think it might be past my brain and mouth time. But until next time, which will be later this month, we'll hear from Alex about what it's like to meet friends in midlife as a guy and listen to his tips and suggestions. Thank you for spending some time with me. And until next time, my fellow Gen Xers, don't you forget about me, because I will not forget about you.